Warning, if you're under 14 and you are not allowed to watch this video, please click off this video because there will be curse words, some situation that's implied in private, or something else that's going to be in this video or other videos on my channel. I will not be accused of saying something bad in front of some kids, even though this video is only for 14 and up. If you're under that, please leave this video because I will not be responsible for any of that. So, if you're over 14 and you want to watch this video, please move forward and listen to my stories that I want to tell you. And I hope you have a good day. Stories go through the air. You can listen and you cannot. But stories are here to help. Understand what is right and what is wrong. But sometimes stories can do the opposite. There's no right or wrong. You have to form your own opinion. But that is not what you're here for. You're here to listen to this silly little god of this channel listens to his mind going on about his stories, about the different worlds where he's traveling to, and where he can make some small different in a timeline. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy my video and let's begin. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. And I'm sorry I haven't been posting in the last couple of days or probably a week. I've been on vacation these couple of days, so I haven't been able to record or anything because I don't know how quality is on my phone and I don't have a tablet. I just have nothing to record when I'm on vacation. So I have to take a break for a little while and then I can come back and record for you guys. So today is episode 9 or part 9 of What If Belle Cranel Was a Hunter. Now, I hope you guys will enjoy this video, and I hope you want to like and subscribe. This is the second time I ever done this. And if you want to leave questions in the comments, I really want to do a kind of Q&A video. So hope you guys will leave some comments, some questions, not some very personal questions, but just random things you want to know about me. I really wanted to make that video, and I think it's going to be fun for me and you guys to listen to me talk even more. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy, and let's begin this video. Where we last left off, Belle Cranel and Lucy has just gone down to save their girlfriends, being Tyona and Ice. Belle rescued Ice from the Reeves character, and the character I don't even remember his name is from the whole plant situation. And Belle and Ice has found out they have to go to floor 59. Last time they went down there, they kind of got stopped by these creatures that hid their supplies. So didn't have a lot to go down and go back up, so they have to return to the surface and resupply. And right now it's been around 3 months since they last went down to floor 50 actually. And I actually have gone on the internet to see what kind of floors there are. And it was my mistake. It was not floor 19 to 23 that the whole forest area was. It was floor 19 to 24 and 25 to 27. It was my wrong and everything else. So yeah, I have made a mistake there, and I'm sorry. So roast me in the comments. I didn't really research that. So Bell and his group went up to the surface with the rest of them to, well, their supplies and everything else. Ah, shoot, my mic. So Bell has gone down into the dungeon, saved Ice, come back to the surface, and you guys got introduced to Aria actually in the last episode. It's been a while since I last mentioned her, actually. So yeah, we saw her. You heard her actually the last episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. So yeah, that was the last episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We start in the front of the Hestia Familia home, where a lot of activities are going on. We see that the humans, elves, beast humans, and other races are right now putting, well, supplies on carriages that is, well, being carried by two sacreds. We see Belle sitting near a carriage, getting some supplies loaded into. Right now, him and Asterius is packing on some items they didn't need down in the dungeon. They have taken some smith's items that Wealth and May should use down in the dungeon. They have also carried the supplies, meaning crystals for the monster, crystals for Asterius so he can actually eat. And Asterius, I said, got a girlfriend, actually, a minotaur they found after the others came back up. So yeah, I think I never mentioned her. I need to look back. But Asterius' girlfriend is also going to down into the dungeon with the others. So they have to pack around some few crystals for those two. They also have some food supply, tents, food, medicine, and a whole lot of things in their carriage. It's more bigger than the usual carriage. It's like those bigger carriages that you can have on them. They also have the normal one they carry down in the dungeon when they hunt monsters, not crystal monsters. They have two of them, well, the bigger one at the front, the little one at the back. So they have supplies and everything else, putting them in the carriage and everything else, and making sure that everything was correct. Like the saddles on the sacreds, weapons that they can change on their sacreds as well, and some other supplies they need for, well, going through a lot of things down in the dungeon. Sorry about that. When Bell and his group got done with that, Bell walked over to Lucy. Hey, do you know if it's good to actually go down there? You mean floor 59? Yeah, it should be fine. Hell, Loki, Freya, and us are going down there. This is a bigger group. We can probably go down to floor 61 or 65. Yeah, but that message that Revis left us. Yeah, that is kind of concerning, I know. Do you think... Yes, Belle. I know what you're gonna ask, and yes. Ice is a strong woman, and you know that. Hell, she even beat you 5 times in a sparring match. Ice has gone stronger ever since you met her. She can handle herself down in the dungeon alone, and you know this. You getting worried about her probably can make her feel angry towards you, and you don't want that. You know? I know. You protecting her from Revis was fine. That is totally fine to get angry about your girlfriend getting attacked by someone that tried to kill her. But you not helping her grow stronger is not helping her. So yes, it's a good idea to get her down to floor 59. And you know this. So yes, we have to go down there. Fine. Okay, sorry. I know, Belle. We're like siblings most of the time, so I know what you're thinking about. Lucy went over and clapped Belle on his shoulder twice. It's normal to do that. Even though I'm not a man, it's normal for a man to protect their girl. And the opposite as well. It's a relationship you need to do. So you need to protect her. And she needs to protect me. That's it. I know. Now, are we missing something from the supplies? Well, no, actually not. We actually got a lot. Asterius and Betty's, let's call her Betty. Asterius and Betty's armor. Oh, yeah, I will go get their armor. Belle rushes over to the smithing area to get, Betty's and Asterius armor. When he arrived, he sees that Wolf and May is, outside with some packages. Well, look here. He's finally arrived. Sorry, we kind of almost forgot. Yep, both of them's armors are here. Don't worry about it, Belle. I'm kind of worried going down in the middle floors. Don't worry about it, cuz. You got to level 2. Yeah, that was kind of an accident. I know, but you were still strong. And now you can help the girls with more perfect armor. Yeah, I'm kind of getting good at that. Don't worry, Wolf. You need the experience, and being down in the dungeon is kind of good experience. I know. Both Wolf and Belle grabbed a part of Asterius' armor. Belle grabbed Asterius' armor. Wolf got Betty's armor. I think it was Betty's. I forget a lot easy. When they arrive back, they put the armor in the carriage so they can ride over to the dungeon. When everything was ready and put into their carriages, the Hestia Familia rode out towards the dungeon. When they got to the entrance, Finn, Otter, and their Familia was behind them, and they greeted each other, getting ready and everything else. When Belle was getting Asterius' armor and Wolf got Betty's armor off of the carriage, Tyone came over to Lucy and they kissed for greeting. Lily was sitting on their sacred and both of them did as well. Oi, can you stop kissing each other and help me out here? The armor that Betty and Asterius got are not actually just shoulder pads and armor parts spread around their body. They're actually a body armor. Like how do I explain this? Oh yeah, The armor looks like a medieval looking armor with chestplate and everything, but it has detailed designs on them. Betty's has a lot of breathing room in her armor because she actually don't need cloth to cover it up because she still has strong skin. When Betty got her armor pieces on with the help of Welf and Tyona, and they got the help Betty put the armor pieces on and everything else, Betty grabbed a club looking thing. It's that kind of ball club with, instead of spikes around it, it's sorry, I'm so sorry. Imagine a kind of that round looking weapon, a round ball on a stick, a metal stick with a handle with spikes on its head. It's kind of like a dat weapon, but instead of spikes, it's like small, thin, like knife, small, thin axe heads on the side that is just going straight up into a sharp point, and it's going down in, and the same at the bottom. That is kind of Betty's weapon. It's huge for her hand that normal people can't use, probably dwarves actually, that she used to bash monsters and everything else in with. And Asteria's is it's kind of like the same. Actually, let me get something on the screen right now so you can see the armor parts. It's hard to explain for me, so let me just get some pictures that looks like what I'm trying to describe. So this is actually what I want to describe. The one that is on the left side is Betty's, with the shoulder pads and everything else, except the cloth or the non-metal parts is what she's wearing. The metal, not the cloths. So that is what she is wearing. And on the right side is Asteria's, except the cloths, of course. He has the metal parts and everything else. That is what they're actually wearing. Sorry about that. And that is what I wanted to, say to you guys. So after Welf and Tyona got, Betty's armor on and gave her weapon, over with Belle and Lucy actually got the armor on Asterius, and Asterius grabbed his weapons. After that, Belle saw that the other monsters also had new armors and weapons on. After everything got ready and everyone turned to the stage, Finn actually made the speech, because can you imagine Sword or Otter making a speech? No, they cannot. So Finn was actually the one to inspire everyone to go down into the dungeon and defeat the monsters down there and defeat the monsters and crystal monsters that is down into the dungeon. So when Finn went up to the stage, he's looking at everyone and just started. Alright, listen up everyone. In a few minutes, our group will go down into the dungeon to go down to floor 59 and beyond. No one has been down there for many years at this point, so we don't know what is actually going on down there. So we will get ready with the strongest member of our familiar members. So everyone has to get ready. Even the weaker members will go down and get their stuffs, level up, and get their status up. So you can go down with us into the dungeon. I know this is a terrible speech, so I hope you guys can figure out what I'm trying to do. I will not continue because it sucks. Finn continued to talk to them, to trying to hype them up, and it was actually working. Finn talked about their friends with the Xenos monsters and how they can help us go down deeper, and so they can go up and help the city of Aurario get stronger, so they can defeat and help the Xenos actually be on the surface for many years. And help, well, probably subjugate the monsters that is going down into the dungeon, or just make sure that it haven't changed the dungeon forever. So everyone got ready to go down into dungeon with Finn's speech. So there will be about not a huge group going down at once. So, the first group is going down there is the quicker people to go down and get rid of, well, the monsters that is gonna fight. So Eyes, Bet, Alan. Bell is also one of the quickest members, but he's kind of slower than the others. So Bell and two of the Gulliver brothers is also going down with them. So, and Hockney, I think isn't Hockney the black elf of the Freya Familia? I think I'm correct. So, Bell, the two Gulliver brothers, Alan, Bet, Eyes, and Hockney is going down into the dungeon first to clear out the floors or clear out the hallways where the supplies are going down to. So these guys are the first one to go in, clear the floor or the hallways until the floor 5. When they get there, they have to wait for the first carriage to arrive before they have to go off again. And until floor 10 to then they have to wait again, then floor 15 to floor 18, where they get a little break and where some more members are going with their group to clear out, well, their route. In the first middle group is 2 carriages with 2 supplies, or 2 carriages that is for the small supplies, and the bigger carriages that is around 3 sacreds that is gonna take that along, and this carriage is 1 times bigger than the bigger carriage that is holding 2 sacreds. Oh wait, imagine the carriage from Shield Hero. It's like that one, but that is the 2 times sacred, and imagine that is a little bit more bigger. That is a 3 times sacred, but a lower roof. So yeah, and the normal ones that monsters and everything is going on and everything else, that is kind of smaller than that. So yeah, that is kind of what I want to tell you guys what the sizes are. So there is 2 carriages with 2 sacreds that has supplies on, and some others on Smith and everything else. And then there is the food supplies that is going down first. A lot bigger names are being on that, being Sard, Althea, and Otter. Those are 3 big names, with Tyone and Tyona and Lucy going with them, with about 10 level 4s. Remember, the dungeon is not... It doesn't have rules so bad familiars can actually go in and attack them. That's why they have huge members on these big carriages that holding their supplies. So when that is going down, a second group that is gonna be in the after the first one, when that carriage is going down, a second group with around 5 level 5 adventurers are going down into the hallway with some other people. So they're going in there and clear that out with their more monsters that is going into the hallway. So the next carriage is this kind of same layout with... It had Otter, Althea, and Sard on the first one. So Finn, Gareth, and Riveria is going to be on the second part of the carriages that is going down, with the 2 carriages with that is holding, like I said, and a carriage with 3 secrets that is huge with tents, supplies, medical supplies in that one that is going down. Then a second group of level 10 4s is going down into the hallway, with a mage group as well that has around 5 as well that's going down into the dungeon. And the last group is not... They don't actually have a huge carriage with them. Instead of, they have 4 carriages that is with the last 2 groups. That is also holding food and everything else and more supplies. Remember, these are huge groups that's going down. No, those last 8 carriages are going with the same kind of group down into the dungeon. That is where Himmel and Freerin is gonna be at, with others and as well that on level 5 that's also gonna be there. So yeah. And the last familiar members are going to go down last. Yeah, I know it's confusing, but... And the 8 carriages are going to have the last people that's going down into the dungeon. So yeah, and the Xenos are also going to go on with Astri is going with Sard, and Betty is going with the last carriage rides being the 8 carriages that's going down there, with other Xenos in the mismatch. I think Lid and the Gargoyle is going with Belle as well to clear the dungeon. So when the whole planning situation was over, Belle got ready with the others to rush down into the dungeon and clear the hallway they have to. Belle was standing there with his, wolf clothes on him, or his armor on that is lighter, and actually has his dual blades on him. Belle stood there with his armor and his scythe-looking dual blades, when eyes came up beside him. "So, should we make this a competition, Belle?" "Oh, seeing how many monsters we can kill to floor 5? Yes, and floor 10, 15 to 18. What do I get?" "I don't know. Winner can ask anything from the loser when we go to 18. "Deal." Belle and I shook hands and got ready when Finn said, "Runners, Please go down into the dungeon and clear the way to floor 5. And Belle's group just sprints off down into the dungeon. When they actually hit the ground to go into floor 1, Belle's group immediately rushed in and just go into the big hallway that's in there and just started to clear the monsters that was down there. Well, hitting the crystal monsters, crystals, and shattered them, so they actually don't have to pick them up when they go up. So they're just cutting down these monsters down to floor 3 when they killed the crystal monsters. And when they hit floor 3, they actually got into a fight with a monster, being the Great Jackaris. The yellow lizard that actually meet them. That was kind of strange, actually. When they fought it, when the group was actually kind of big, so they actually killed it in around 10 minutes. So they actually had to send the Blackie, they actually had to put the monster corpse to the side and just rush down into the dungeon. The other group can pick it up and put it on the smaller carriage on the 2 others. So when they rushed down to floor 3, killed the Great Jackaris, and rushed down to floor 5, and taking a break waiting for the first carriages to arrive. Alright, I got around 10 monsters. Damn it, I got around 7. Ha, keep up, Eyes. Oh, sweetheart. Belle looked at Eyes and she just smiled at him. I can keep up, but can you? Oh, that is clearly a challenge. It is. After around 5 minutes of waiting, they see the carriage actually coming towards them. When Sarge see them, he put up a thumbs up, and the group rushed down to floor 6 and cleared that. Actually getting into a fight with a monster, and actually cleared it to floor 10. Okay, there's not a lot of monsters down here. Do you think people is hunting them? No, we have regulation. That Jackaris shouldn't be up here. So someone is clearing them out? Belle was walking around floor 10. I think that is where the mist actually... Wait, give me a second. Yeah, it was floor 10 to 12. When Belle looked around in the mist-covered area, he actually see that's a small Jackaris, and it's dead. Belle pulled the monsters so the others could see it. Someone is hunting them. Yes, illegally, because they have to pick corpses up. Belle looked around to see that there's around 10 of them lying around the floor 10. When Belle saw the corpses, it had actually an axe kind of weapon inserted into them. It's an axe wielder with quite a lot of power. These bones are very much broken. So, a high level. Do you know anyone that's high level that can kill these monsters? No. I can only think of a level 5 right now, but that cannot be. Who are you talking about? That toad from Ishtar. I'm only familiar with her because Lady Freya has ranted about that toad a lot of times. Tell me about it. Hogni made a kind of weird pose. Lady Freya have talked about that toad a lot and how Ishtar had to probably find a better captain than that. Huh. Belle looked at it and said, well, I think Ishtar family members are gonna be down here then. Belle grabbed the corpses and put them in a pile. When the carriage arrived, Belle had to talk to them really quickly, with Alan as well. Ishtar. Otter looked at the 10 corpses that was on the road. That is probably why that great jaguaress was up there. Yeah, probably. But we haven't found them yet, so they probably went down yesterday. But I hope the jaguaress monsters can survive. We can probably send a runner up to the guild and inform them. And the hunter guild as well. Yes, we can. But that had to be at floor 18. Probably. Belle rushes after that talk. Belle and his group rush down to floor 11 and the others running into a peaceful monster that actually just walked by them, being that swamp looking monsters from Monster Hunter World with the 3 horns, or the kind of weird kind of nose it has on its head. When they met it, they just let it actually pass them because it was kind of peaceful enough so they didn't have to hunt it. The great jaguaress on the floor 3 kind of attacked them first actually. This one just walked by them. So after they got to floor 15, they waited for the group to arrive when they heard something coming towards them. Actually, people that was talking. When they saw the people that actually was coming up, it was actually the Ishtar family coming back from something. When Freemy, or the Toad, I'm just gonna call it that in all of my fan fictions, when the Toad spotted them, she kinda got a lecherous smile on her face. Well, it seems like... Oh god, it seems like the familiars of Freya has arrived. You must be captain of the Ishtar familia, am I correct? Yes, the news... Oh, you must be the monster twins. Yes, and may I ask if you have hunted monsters illegally? What are you saying? I mean, we found around 10 dead jaguars on floor 10, cut down illegally. And you didn't report it to the guild? You have nothing to prove. Your axe. What? It's an axe cut. I know it because I've seen a lot of axes being used on monsters. Your cuts are very strong, and you have a strong figure, and disgusting body as well, to cut down those monsters up at top. Even cut off one of their heads. We are gonna send a runner up and inform the guild, and if you try to attack them, we will figure out when we come back. And you will be dead. You have nothing to prove. Oh, by the way, stay still for a moment. What? Belle pulled out a camera and pointed at, Frimey's shoe. He took a picture and said, "You have one of their scales on the shoe." Wait, what? When Frimey looked down and sees her shoe actually had a scale actually large in that she couldn't see it because she's fat as fuck. When she saw that, she kind of grimaced. Yeah, so I would just go and pay the fine. Why, you little... The toad grabbed her weapon and walked forward. Oh, you can come and fight me. I'm a level 6. What are you? Level 4? Level 5? Freemay, or the toad, just growled in anger and was about to hit when... Stop. When Freemay and her group looked over to the hallway, they saw Sarge standing there with, well, his group. Freemay backed up because of the intimidation of Sarge. You cut down those monsters illegally. Even though you don't have a license, you still killed them and didn't report it yesterday. I will send up a informant. He asked one of the members to come here and gave a picture that Bell took. You will pay the fine when you go to the surface. If you don't, when the Hestia Familia come back, you will pay the price. Do you understand, Toad? Yeah. The vice captain of their familia stepped forward and said, "Shut up, Freemay. Of course we understand, and we are very sorry about it." You should, because you can probably destroy everything in the dungeon if you killed every single one of them. They're just monsters that came here a few months ago. And they've already been here a few months, meaning the dungeon have changed, meaning the ecosystem as well. You luckily we found a fewer one that was still alive. Be lucky. Sarge took the picture from Bell and gave it to his runner that immediately rushed up to the surface. After Freem and her group went by, sorry if you could hear that, when they went by and they walked up to the surface, the group continued down into the dungeon and down to floor 18. When the group arrived at floor 18, they took a break near, Riveria. Bell and his group took a little bit of breath, waiting for the others to arrive down with them. Right now, Bell and I was, sitting near a tree. Was sitting at a tree just waiting for the others when I got 27 kills. Damn it! You got a 26 or what? 21. That's not a lot, Bell. Shut. No, I can't shut you up. Nope. Anyways, what do you want? Don't sound sad. Well, I'm kind of annoyed, but I'm not sad. Oh. I will get Haruhime. Wait, what? Yes? You're gonna sleep on the floor when we get to floor 28. No! Come on! You're gonna get the floor. Me and Haruhime is gonna get the hammock. Am I correct? It's a hammock? Yeah. We're gonna sleep on the hammock. That is not fair! That's the challenge. You'll get the floor, we get the hammock. Oh, don't be sad. Maybe I'll let you in the hammock. But probably not. You're mean. I can be mean as I want. Anyway, we should probably go. Yeah, sorry. We should probably get ready. We are gonna take a break before we make a new formation down to the other floors. Yeah, you're probably right. Sorry. This is not a good way to fix this. After the group waited for the others to arrive back, the first group arrived after 10 minutes actually of arriving. After that, it took the next group. It took like an hour for everyone to be there. When everyone arrived in their group, Finn and the others set up a new formation. Bell and his group are still gonna be in the front lines with Sard and Alfia. Others gonna stay back with the others with the carriages. Right now, the group need to go forward and clear out more monsters now. Meaning there's gonna be a lot more monsters in groups and everything else. So, yeah, Sard and Alfia is gonna be with the other group with Haruhime actually joining them on a sacred, they are sacred. And the others are gonna actually go in a line down in the dungeon. So you can see Bell after Bell's group goes on, there's 8 carriages and 2 carriages. That means there's 12 carriages in all of the group, and there's 2 big ones. One with supplies and one with tents. The others has supplies around them. Sorry, I have to think about this. There's around 3 smaller ones, 2 in the front, 1 in the middle, then there's a big one. There is gonna be 2 in the back of the big one and 1 in the back of them. Then there's gonna be, it's 2, 1, 1 big one, 2, 1 big one. No, 2, 1, a big carriage. 2 carriages, 1 carriage, then a 2 carriage, 1 carriage, big one, and a 2 carriage, 1 carriage. So it's kind of repeat of themselves. And the mages are gonna be in Friedren, the strongest mage ever actually, is gonna be in around the middle one. Riveria is gonna be in the front, and Lufia is going to be at the back with some other mages. They're kind of spread out, but still protected by a lot of members of the familias. After that, the group is just going to be around the carriages. It's just the front group that's going to go down and kill all the monsters. When everyone got situated and everything else, the group went down into the dungeon. Also, they handed over the Great Jagras and its brethren over to Riveria, so they can get their hides and everything else and meat, so they got some more supplies and things they can trade with. After the group went down, they went down on shoot, I can't. They went down to shit, I need the map. Sorry about that. Danmachi floor dungeon. Okay. There. Right, they're going to, when the group was sent off, they have to go down to floor 24 before the next three floors of the water capital or water city. So when Bell's group went into the floor 19, they have to carve their way into the front. So when they went down into the dungeon around floor 21, they actually met two Rathlos, or two big monsters, or Rathians, if I'm correct. My pronunciation or something shit. They met two of them, the green one and the red one, male and female. They went to attack them, but well, they kind of got destroyed by Alfia and Sard, killing them. Sard just cutting the head off of the female one, and Alfia just, when the male Rathian was about to attack her, she let out her magic into the Rathian's mouth, just destroying the inside of it, just killing it, actually. After that, Bell and his group put them away so the others can pick it up. After that, they rushed down to around floor 24, so they can wait for the others to go down there. Sorry. After they waited for a little while, they went into floor 25 when the big ass group arrived. So Bell and his group went into it, but instead of Eyes going with them because she's still afraid of fucking water, she's still getting. Bell and Harime is trying to help her get over that phobia, but she's still terrified of water. So Bell and Harime has helped her, but she's not comfortable being there. So Bell, instead of Eyes being there, Lucy's actually the one that goes up with them. After that, the group went into the dungeon area and was walking down it when they ran into... Oh yeah, the dungeon Rexes. I forgot to mention that. The 17th floor Goliath was killed 3 days beforehand. I forgot to mention that. And the Rex of the Water City is actually still alive at this point. So Bell and his group has to actually find it and kill it. Great Fall. Rakes of... Oh, that's the Xenos part. Yeah, I cannot actually find information about that Rex. I actually heard from others that this Rex actually goes from dungeon 25 to 27. So when Bell's group went in there, the bigger group actually didn't went in because they can go into a Rex fight after that. After the group went into the floor 25, they didn't find the Rex actually on the floor at all. They have to search around and actually spotted some other monsters being oh, I forgot its name. It's the new blue monsters from Monster Hunter Wild, and that fish kind of creature from World that is hanging around that area. It hangs around 25, to 26. The new blue one that spouts electricity in Monster Hunter Wild, that is actually around 25 to 27 as well. And there's also another one. It's the give me a moment. Alright, so I went in and found their names. So it's Juracardis, I think, Uxduna, Gaiagris, and Mutsuru. Shit. Mitsetsu. It's those 4 monsters. If you could hear that from my mic, yeah, it's those 4. Gyaraturtus, Uchduna, Legiagris, and Mitsuru. Those 4 monsters, actually, that I want to be there. In those 4 areas, between 25 to 27, those 4 are around those areas. They kind of switch at points, but Jurkstuna, the first one I said, is hanging around 25 most of the time. You can find it there. You can also find Uxduna on 27 most of the time. It actually fights the guy or the Rex monsters most of the time on that floor, what they have found out. Legiagris and Uxduna is around 26 and 25 most of the time. You can find those 2 there, but you can also actually find them on 27. So when the group went in there, they had to search around the first 3 floors to find out where the Rex monster was, and when they did, it was actually in a fight with Uchduna. They were fighting it. Those 2 was fighting it out on the floor, but Uchduna was not strong enough to defeat it. But they were still fighting heavily. But when the fight was at the end with the Rex monster snapping the Uxduna's neck, the others went into action except for Althea and Sard, because they want the children to get some more experience. But mostly it was Lucy. Lilith. Wait. Now that I remember, it's Lilith or Lucy, but I mostly called her her name is Lucy. Came from Lucifer. That's why I chose that name. Lucy. Her name is Lucy. Bells. I'm so sorry. I figured out that I named her another way, then I said another name afterwards. So Lucy and Belle went into this fight with the Rex monsters. When the monster tried to use its, I think it's an ice attack or fire attack, Belle was the one that actually came up with his great sword, at this point being the... Ooh, it would actually be an electric one. Let me just find that weapon, give me a moment. Okay, it's these 2 blades. It was the higher ones of them. High Lugia blade and the high... It's hard to pronounce, I'm so sorry. It's these 2 blades, both of them grabbed. Because the other electric ones kind of suck in design, I must say. Sorry. When Bell grabbed his weapon, after Bell grabbed his electric weapon he got from the carriage, magic chest, let's say that, where their equipment is, Bell grabbed his one and rushes towards the the wrecks of the water capital, water city. And Lucy grabbed her longsword as well, and they both rushed forward. When the Rex was about to attack them with the high flame attack, Bell jumped up to its mouth and just slammed his greatsword into it, just closing it when the fire was about to attack. When Bell did that, he cuts into the jaw of the beast, almost actually cutting very deep, almost cutting into the bone and cutting the jaw off. But when Bell did that, he turned around in the air to cut down in the middle of the Rex's neck. Remember, it has two heads. So Bell went into the middle and just cuts into that, hurting it very bad. When the monster was about to scream out, Lucy was up top of the other one that didn't get cut in the jaw, and started to, slice it over its head and she was running down its neck, just cutting it up so much she could. When the monster screamed out and was about to kick her off, she jumped down to the body of the Rex and stabbed her sword into it and just started to run to the tail, just cutting it heavily. When the monster was about to scream out more, Bell jumped up again and just stabbed his greatsword on the one he cut the jaw. He just stabbed through the head with his greatsword into its brain, and that part of the head just died. When they got down to the ground, the whole monster other side just died. And taking that much damage, and Lucy still cutting up to the crystal, and after a few seconds she cuts into the crystal, making the monster scream out and go into smoke. When they landed, there was only the crystal that was there actually. So Bell and Lucy grabbed it. Bell grabbed it over his shoulder, and both of them jumped over to the others. There were little ice platforms on the water, by the way. That's what I meant when they jumped on the water. They jumped on ice platforms. They jumped over to the group and let the crystal and the monster, I forgot its name. It's you know what I meant. They let the crystal and the monster's body be there, and they waited for the others to arrive. Bet was sent up to the group to inform them that everything was clear to go down. With the Rex gone, they can actually go through the floors more safely. When the group got to where the others was, they actually had to cut the monster up into pieces so they could put them in the pieces in the bags and everything else, and actually left the meat there. They didn't have much place for the meat, but they took the bones with them for monster parts. When the group got to floor 28, it actually has been around. It took for them to go down from floor 1 to floor 18 around 3 hours to go down, and it went around 9 in the morning. They went down from there, and it was around 3 hours they went down for floor 1 to floor 18, because it takes a little while with all that supplies and everything else. They still have some other, so they have to stop some few times and go down to floor 18. That took around 3 hours. From floor 19 to floor 24, that took around 1.5 hours. And being that they had to stop on floor floor 24 and wait there around 2 hours because they have to search the whole floor. No, that took around 3 hours to search the whole 3 floors down from the path they had to take. So they took around 3 hours. An hour and a half, that is 4 hours and a half. It took around 3 hours, that is 7.5 hours to go from there to down to floor 28, where they actually could get a break. No, they actually used the meat on floor 28 to cook and everything else. So after the whole battle was done, they went to floor 28 to take around... Well, actually, some of them take a naps or everything else. They took 4 hours of a break down there for safety's sake. There was still monster that comes to the carriage and the people have to fight them. So it took around... The group set up just tents, emergency tents they can put up and take down immediately. And after the whole thing was done and the tents was set up and everything else, Belle slept on the floor after the bed was set, and Ice and Haruhime got their time in the hammock, and Belle got the floor for all of the 4 hours they were down there. Belle doesn't actually mind sleeping on the floor, living out in the wilds or the wild area of the whole thing. You can sleep probably anywhere when you live out there. Sorry. So yeah, Belle can sleep on the floor fine. So after the 4 hours of being there, setting up some small camps and taking it down, that took 15 minutes for all of them to set up and take down. So after they took a break from going down to floor 8, floor 28 was described as a flower field that looks like the elvish or elves flower field. They went down to floor 29, but here the group went different. Because it's a heavily jungle or jungle or desert. Wait, what was it called? The floor? Give me a moment. The 29 to 32 was the dense floor in forest ravine, meaning that the whole splitting up thing was a dumb actual thing. So the whole group went into a line, being Sard in the front with Althea, Alan and Otter in the second part of the front. Then in the middle area it was Himmel, Bet, and Freerin was in the middle part. Finn, Gareth, and Riveria in the... Well, it was spread out. I will not describe everything. So they had to do this, and on these floor, actually, the monsters that they can meet... Ooh. Ooh, what would I put there? Give me a moment, I really want to find that out. Alright, so I went in and got their names and put them up here so you guys can see them. And I also went back and put the names up from the war kind. So these are the monsters you can find in from World and Wild. So yeah, there's a lot of monster in this area because I think that actually matches with their aesthetic or where they're mostly being at. So yeah, the kind of dinosaur looking one that kind of monster is hanging around the Bloodsaurus Rexes most of the time because they think they're kind of family members, so they don't actually attack each other. So they are actually just around each other a lot of the time, so that is kind of a hard fight to do. So that is why the group is more around and everything else. But yeah, those were the monsters you can find in floor 29 to 32. Right? Yeah, floor 29 to 32. So the group had to stay together a lot, and they actually got attacked by it's a great Jagras when they got to an area called the kind of dead zone, where the one that starts with an O, the red kind of fox looking thing, my favorite, and the other one from the World, so you can go back and check their names. It's the two first one from World. There's an area of the dense forest ravine where it's called the New Dead Zone, where a lot of plants have died out and kind of formed this dead kind of gas that's around that place. Those are the places you can find those two monsters and the little one of the great whatever it's called. That is the place those two hangs around a lot of the time, but they still goes around the other places. So they kind of got into a fight with the great one, the great whatever it's called, and its followers. So they kind of had to fight it off, but they actually left their corpses there, except those parts they can use for armor and everything else, and weapons. So they took that stuff from it, but still left the meat to the other monsters going around. But they still had to go through there slowly because it's still dense for everyone, and still dangerous to come about this. There's also a place where the spider one is actually hanging around. That is actually in the middle part of the floor. No, at floor 29, you can mostly find the Bloodsaurus Rex with the dinosaur one. At floor 30, you can find some of the other monsters hanging around as well. But at floor 31, you can find the spider one mostly active around that place. At floor 32, there's a big ass zone where the death plant or the death zone is. That is the place those two monsters from World is. That is that place where you can find those two monsters. They kind of got into fight on floor 32, where they fought the great I can't pronounce their names, I'm so sorry. But they kind of got in a scuffle. They took the things they could, but left the meat in the dead zone. And when they went to floor 33 to 36, here's the point I actually had to stop and think about a place, because it on the Wikipedia it says the last remaining of the lower floors. Sorry, give me a moment. So, sorry about that. At 33 and 36, I have no information what those floors actually are. Until that lower, those 23, 24, 25, 26, those 4 floors, I have no clue what there actually is. On the danmachi Wikipedia, there is nothing on it, so I don't actually know what it is, so I cannot describe it. But here I will make my own kind of a zone that is called the desert area. In this desert area, in the first floor 33, there is a place called the savannah, where it's like the kind of world from... It's like the savannah, or... It's the place in, like, wild. That is kind of the place I'm talking about. That is kind of the look of the floor without the cliffs and everything else. Or the cave-looking area from wild, not world. That kind of place from wild. The savannah area you can go to. That is the place what the 33 looks like. There you can find... I will just make a... I'll just pause and record again. Sorry, I just had to pause the recording so I can see where I can put the monsters that's gonna be there. And floor 34 to 36, that is called the dry desert zone. That is kind of highly dangerous for people that's not prepared to go down there. That floor is completely desert, with some few water zones that with plants and everything else that's around there. But at least if you can't find it, it's just complete desert, and you can only find around 3 to 4 of monsters. But there is crystal monsters that is called the sandworm, that is highly dangerous for everyone else. And if you run into them, you can get killed when they burn up and kills you. But they're weak, but they're sneaky as hell. Those are the kind of monsters. There's also sand monsters, crystal monsters that is made out of completely sand, but still has, well, Egypt-looking weapons that is kind of rusted over with, and kind of rusted metal shields that they fight with. And their crystal is hard to find, but when you know where it is, you can hit it. The only way to destroy these sand monsters is just to destroy the crystal. That is kind of the only way to kill these crystal monsters. The other part, when you get to floor 36, that is kind of the cliff area that is from Wild. So, let me just explain again. Floor 33 is a desert area or savanna area with plants and water rivers going through and everything else. You can find some few monsters from there. There's also the desert where you can fly. That is going from floor 34 to 35. There's a few monsters that lives there. There's also floor 36. Yeah, floor 36 that is kind of like cliff areas coming out from Wild. That is some few monsters that actually hangs around there as well. And yeah. I will just post the floor, the monsters from World and Wild on that, and yeah, I will do that. But after that, after the whole going through, Bell and his group. Sorry, give me a moment. Alright, I went back and put in the monsters and where they are. I should really have put into the others where those monsters actually hide and live out. But I won't do that. I'm sorry. I'm just too lazy right now. So yeah, those are the monsters and where they actually are in the places. But when the group went to the savannah, they actually didn't run into the others. By the way, you kinda is wondering if you see the toad monster and the chicken monster, why they're actually down in the savannah area of the dungeon. Well, those are the stronger one, the temper one, the one that gets injured and everything. Those are around 7-star monsters, so they are down there because they're hell fucking strong. And they actually didn't run into all the other monsters that is in the savannah area. But they still run into crystal monsters, that is obvious. I don't know what I will describe the savannah ones. Those are the monsters that can hide in the trees and in the kind of ground. They're like chameleon monsters that hide very well in the dungeon. But that is not what I'm going to focus on. When Belle and the others get to floor 34 to 35, here the thing is getting a little harder. Because they have caravans and everything else and they can't go through sand, they had to, make a kind of... They have to make a kind of... They had to stop the wheels from moving and put on some skis or sleds. They can pull them along as fast as they can, so they don't sink into the ground. And some of the mages have to use magic to blow away some of the sand, so the caravans can go through the hills of sand, or dunes, to go to the other side, to the entrance to floor 35, where they have to do the same thing. But when Belle and the others got through floor 34 into the middle, around 20 of those the monsters from World that buried themselves into sand and attack you from the ground, they rush towards them because they're really hard to fight when you don't know what they can do. So Belle and his group had to, deal with them. But Belle, Alan, Eyes, and around 20 other people is down, taking care of these monsters. But Belle had a little trouble. I should have brought twin blades out! Belle was just shouting this when he's trying to cut one of his, two monsters that was attacking him. Lucy and Eyes was sitting a little bit away, both of them smiling and holding their electric sword. Eyes was holding her normal sword, desperate, and not Izumi. Lucy was holding her electric sword that I mentioned beforehand. So, do you want to help Belle? Oh, so I can save him. Yes, please. Can I borrow your sword, by the way? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Eyes got the electric sword from, well, Lucy and pulled it out and walked forward towards Belle. Belle was right now on the ground just trying to cut down these, one of the monsters that is trying to bite him when he hears shing. And after just 2 seconds after he hears this, the monster that was trying to bite his head off, it has just rolls down on the ground and just a little bit away from him. Belle was laying on a hill when this happened, so the head of it just went and rolled down into the desert. When Belle looked up, he sees Eyes there holding, Lucy's sword. Lucy's, right? Lucy. Yeah, Lucy. I'm forgetting her name, aren't I? Fuck. It's Lucy. I am... Give me a moment. I am so confused right now. Alright, I'm not going dumb or anything. It is Lucy. So, Belle saw Eyes with Lucy's sword, and when she cut the monster's head off, it rolled down into a little crevice in 2 hills. Belle stood up and pushed the body of the monsters off of him and saw that Eyes was standing in front of him with the other sand monsters standing there. This one was a tempered one, a stronger version that is probably the leader of this group. When it screamed and was about to hit Eyes, Eyes pulled the weapon in front of her and immediately used her Tempest and struck into the monster, actually cutting through it from the mouth area and actually cutting some of its eyes. Yeah, the monster I'm describing actually have eyes in its mouth. So Eyes cuts some of its eyes. Jesus Christ. She cuts the eyes of the monster, and the sword went through it and out through the neck area. And when it tried to get away from her, she cuts down and turned the sword upwards and just cuts from the bottom down, so it's kind of in half, and just cuts the rest of it down so it actually is in half. After this is happening, the rest of there's around 6 monsters left that was alive. When they see their leader was dead, they immediately turned around and just rushed away. When Belle saw this, he just said, we're even now. Oh, we're even, Belle. Alright, don't... No, we're not. As was I thought. Anyways, we should probably take the materials over these. Hey, do you think the new member of the Orphanelia, the half Amazon, half elf, would actually love the monster's armor? Now that you mention it, probably yes. But we have to figure that out later. Anyways, let's cut up this monster. Belle and Eyes started to cut off the monster's parts and everything else, and left the meat part as well. They still grabbed their bones and everything else. It's weird. It's kind of a weird thing they do. So when Belle and Eyes grabbed the meats and everything else, they went back to the group and put them on the... They put it on the cards they have. So when the whole battle with those 20 monsters, it's the one from Wild that always is the devourer that digs itself through sand and everything else. When they were done fighting that type of monster, they went through the desert area, and when they went to floor 35, there was a kind of thunderstorm going on, meaning that, oh shit, I kind of forgot to put that one in. Let me just put the name up right here. So that is the monster and where it usually is on those floors. So yeah, when Belle and the others saw the thunderstorm on floor 35, they kind of got like, okay, one of them is here. We don't know what it is, but we have to go through it quickly. And luckily for them, they didn't meet any of them. So when they got to floor 36, it was more a rocky terrain they can go through. So after they stopped at floor 36 to let their sacred rest, because it was a long trek, from floor 29 to 36, that took around 6 hours for them to go through. Yeah, they stopped at floor 28 and began at floor 29, going through to floor, and that took around 6 hours for them to go through. So when they went through floor 36, they actually some of their group actually spot a Diablo in the mix, well, coming through this floor. But luckily, I think Diablo is not a monster that just attacks the player. So the whole group was fine with the Diablo going up to the desert, floor 35 and everything else. So they were fine and took they took around half an hour to go to the next entrance down to floor 37. Now, floor 37 is the White Palace, or known as the White Palace. Yeah. Floor 37 is a highly dangerous area for everyone. Even though they know about the rest area, they cannot go near it because it's near the arena. Oh, so... No, floor 27 is the White Palace. And this is where the group has to... Alright. There's only like one monster that actually live in this area. No, around 2 of them. We have to rush through and be safe. We have to be quick, we cannot be slow. So they have to go through floor 37 as quickly as possible without being attacked by monsters. But when they do, they have to rely on the mages to hit them, because it's darker and everything else, and not a lot of them have magic. So, when they got a little break around 2 hours from there, they decided, alright, let's rush through the floor as quickly as possible. I will put up sorry, I went quiet for a moment. I will put up what monster that is down there right now. So these are monsters that is showing up on floor 37, and I kind of think it's fitting for them to be there, except the the one that rolls around with bones on it in world, but I kind of think it's fitting for it to be there. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's fitting for it to be there, but the others is perfect area for them. So when Belle and the others went into floor 37 and rushes through them as quickly as possible, so they're kind of in a running walk kind of situation. They still have carriages and everything else they have to go with. And when Belle and the others went down there, they didn't get attacked at first, but after 10 minutes of being in there and almost to the middle, some few of the monsters that was there pops up, and Belle and his group had to attack them. But after they rushed through and everything else, and they get almost to the middle area of the floor, the spider one from Wild showed up and actually attacks the middle part of the group, but being Freerin is in the middle, she just turned her staff to it and just blew its head off and just destroyed the body of it, making that they couldn't salvage anything from it. Belle just turned to Belle was in the middle part right now. He just turned to Freerin and said, "You kind of went too far with that, Miss Freerin." I did. Oh well. Yeah, that's kind of you to say that. Himmel just laughed at this, and the group, those three just stood still when the monster attacked. So the group, Belle and Freeman and Himmel returned to the group, and they immediately rushed forward into it. But at the front of the line and everything, the first one from World showed up and attacked them. But this time, Gareth was the one that actually was near it, so he knocked it away with his axe. Gareth took his axe with Finn and Riveria helping him just drive it away from the group. They didn't have time to slay it or anything else, so they just want to rush through this nightmare. And when they went down into the dungeon and everything else, they came to floor 38. I think that is the boss Rex room. The room to the boss and everything else. Because eyes, I think it takes a month for it to regenerate, or 2.5. Let's say a month and a half for it to respawn in the dungeon. No, it's a month. Let's say it's a month. When the month was, it was almost at the time where the Monster X of floor 38 would respawn, but it was not time yet, so they can actually rush through that, floor bus area. So after that, going through everything else, through floor 37, they reached floor 39 and took around a 3 hours break for everything else, because they have to go through floor... What the hell is floor 30? What is the 44th floor? Looks like a active erupted volcano area. when that 3 hours break was done, floor 30 or floor 40 and for floor 43 looks like the normal dungeon on the upper floors, but still bigger, a bigger kind of, that kind of part looks like a ravine looking area, but it was just up to the ceiling of the floor. There's no hitting. There was some cave areas and everything else that people can explore and everything else. There was some monster that hits in these and bigger monsters in these ravines looking area in these floors, but there was no monsters that actually live here. So when they went through, they just had to kill crystal monsters, no normal monster that was in there and everything else. But when they hit floor 44, it was an active, what it reads here, an active. Floor 34 looks like a inactive volcano like world or floor. So let's say it's kind of like that. So from floor 44 until floor 48, so 5 floors actually, it's like an active volcano where these kind of monsters shows up. But it's kind of easy because they're kind of not active and everything else, and they didn't run into any monsters. I kind of wanted to make it easy here. So yeah, these are the monsters that is on that floor itself, on these floors, but it's just spread out. They can kind of go from each to everything else. But the group just fought crystal monsters actually most of the time. But let me just get the monsters and everything else. So these are the monsters you can run in on floor 44 to floor 48. Yeah, I know this is a lot of monsters, but there is good places for them. And right now, the floor 44 to floor 48 is kind of like 3 times bigger than the city of Aurario. And that city's huge. So those are the monsters they usually run into in these kind of areas. But they were not actually, luckily for them, they didn't run into any of them, because I don't have any of them in my head right now that they meet in this area. So, give me a moment. I think there's something wrong with my mic. My mistake. I was wrong. It's just me that is not talking too loud. So, floor 48 and everything else. But on floor 46, there's a kind of a place where the whole half of the floor is kind of a big cliff down, if you know what I mean. When you go through half of it, it's normally at that door, but when you get to the middle part, there's like a 140 meters down to the next flat area. And here the group has to build a kind of a machine that makes everyone, a machine that can take a big carriage on its own down to the ground. So the people has to kind of build it out of things they have in one of the bigger carriages, that one with tents and everything else. So the group was setting up that area, and the group was setting up from the top of the cliff, and they have to go down with this kind of elevator there. a elevator they can build and take down easily. So when the group was doing that, Belle and Lucy with Otter, Alan, and Freerin was sent down to the lower part so they can protect them. And when those four went down to the ground on the bottom of the whole cliff area, Belle and Lucy transformed into their monster armor version. They still have the same kind of armor on, so that is the kind of armor they transform into. So Otter and Freerin was down on the ground, not transformed into any monster, but Lucy and Belle was on the right side of the elevator and Lucy was on the left side, well, going around and scaring off and killing crystal monsters that tried to attack them. Freerin was there to kill any monsters that spawned from the cliff. Otter was there to kill stronger monsters that get close to the elevator or lift. So the whole setting up and everything else took around half an hour to do. So after the lift got set up and everything else, it took around an hour or 2 hours for them to get everyone down to the ground. And Gareth and Sard was on the top, pulling out the parts that was bolted to the ground so they can lift everyone down. They took the things that were holding the poles and everything else, poles and gears and everything else that gets everyone down, and just put them on the shoulder and just jump down. But luckily for them, Freerin had a magic so they could slow down to the ground and land. So they took everything apart and put it into that carriage that had the tents and everything else, and moved forward towards floor 47. I'm getting hungry as fuck. Jesus. There's so many interruptions in this video. They went to floor 47 and still killed some crystal monsters to floor 48. And when they got there, Belle and Lucy was not allowed to go into floor 49 because that is the Rex room, and Otter is actually still level 7. So the people that is gonna go into the monster room is Alan, Hidden, and the white elf and black elf from the Freya Familia, Otter, Sard, Himmel, Alfia, and Freerin. Those are the group that's going to go in there and defeat this monster, but Otter is the one that have to. Those are the group that's going to go in there, but Otter is trying to solo this monster because the monster spawned around 3 weeks ago from when it spawned 3 weeks before they went into the dungeon. The expedition went into the dungeon again. So Belle and the others didn't see the fight, but they could hear the roars and everything else. So after like half an hour of roars and everything else, and Belle and Lucy protecting the whole caravan with their monster form, they were still on it. So they went into the corridors first, killing the monsters and everything else. They were still in their monster forms when freed them to turn and told everyone to go through. But when they got to the floor, they had actually set up the lift again, because instead of being a long hallway that just goes around into the next floor, it's a stairwell that the carriages can go down fine, actually. They had to set up a lift because this one was a spiral staircase down, and they couldn't actually do that, so they had to set up the lift again. So the whole group, that took around 2 hours again, for half an hour to set up and 2 hours for them to go down to floor 50, and they could take a day or two off to recharge and everything else. So it took 2 hours for them to get everyone down and every single supplies and everything else. When they got to floor 50, Belle saw the whole area, and it was kind of nice and everything else. Nice area and everything else to set up. When Belle's group went into floor 50, they went over to the area they were in last time, where they set up their tents area, smithing area, and everything else. On floor 50, they set up everything they took down with them, because one party is going down into the floor 50 and beyond. So floor 50 is their safe area, their hub for the moment. And when everything was setting up and everything else, Belle and the others got some few orders to hunt food, get water supplies and everything else, or set up tents, supply tents, and everything else. So right now they have 3 supply tents, where food, crystal, monster parts, and everything else is one in one and in one. So they don't have just food supply in one, weapons in one, and monster crystals and everything else in one. So they kind of spread out with everything else. But when the whole system was set up and people was getting ready to hunt for fish and everything else that was in a kind of big lake in this area, Belle went over to the tent that Eyes, Harime, and him are sharing. He was sitting at the stairs just looking out to everyone that was sitting up and everything else, when he felt a hug from behind. "Are you tired, Belle?" Belle turned to see Haruhime with a kind of droopy smile that she was not sad, she was just very, very tired of almost 20 hours of going through the dungeon down below. "Yeah, I'm tired. Very tired, actually. Ice is allowing you to sleep in the hammock with us this time." "Oh, I only thought it was floor 28. "No, it wasn't. Come on, we got the tent set up and everything else. Blackie is right now sleeping in his little bed." "Great. Yeah, I'll join you guys." God. How long did we actually take to go from floor 28 to floor 50? Well, we took around 3 hours to go down. Took probably 10 hours to go from there to floor 36. From there we took a little break from that. Took 4 hours, I think. That's 14 hours of a little sleep, some little eating, some getting rest and everything else. Going through that, going through floor 37, that's an hour break afterwards. it took an hour for us to get through. We took an hour break on floor 39, right? 39 was the safe zone. Yeah, 39 was a safe zone. They took a break for an hour. Then they went through the other floors. And that took around 6-8 hours to go through. Jesus, with no break, no anything else. And it took a half an hour, 2 hours to set up, to get everyone down and everything else. So yeah, almost 24 hours. It's not, I'm bad at this. So yeah, we kind of need sleep right now. Belle walked over to the hammock to see Eyes was dead off, just knocked out. Belle saw that she was still having her armor pieces on, so Belle just helped, Haruhime to take off her armor parts and everything else, actually helping getting her pajama or sleeping wear on. So they took the armor off, put sleeping wear on Eyes, and Belle changed into his sleeping wear as well, being a t-shirt and uncomfortable pants, with Haruhime getting night clothes as well on. So they went. After that, Belle grabbed Eyes and sat in the hammock that was kind of still. It was not a moving hammock, it was just it was a little moving, but it wasn't a where you can spin around as fast as you can. It's just where you can swing a little in it. So Belle grabbed Eyes and carried her like a princess. Belle sat down and just laid in the hammock with Eyes on the left side of him and Haruhime going on the right side of him. Haruhime took their covers and put them on them. Just after that, Haruhime took around 2 minutes to fall asleep. Belle was laying there with his girlfriends and just looked up at the tent. Tomorrow is the fight where we find out what is on floor 59. And this is where I'm gonna end this episode off. Yes, this took a while for me to do, so I hope you guys will enjoy this video. And if you like to leave a comment for questions you want, or just question you want answers now, I will happily just reply to you. I really love you guys' comments. And if you guys actually like to like and subscribe, please do that. I really want more viewers and everything else that I can entertain you guys. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you guys will leave a comment so I can make a Q&A video. And I hope you guys enjoy my channel and everything else. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful times, my blue mask. Bye-bye.